Google is working effortlessly to improve its services and send the stock flying. So is the stock a buy at current levels? Stay focused as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction as of 27 September. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. First up, there are rumors that Google is considering to take over popular image-based platform Pinterest. This started when CEO Sundar talked about mergers and acquisitions at the Code conference held this month. And when the interviewer asked him about Pinterest, he refused to comment with a sneaky smile, hinting that it might be true. This is important because Pinterest has gone from an average revenue per user for $1.04 last year to $1.54 this year, indicating good growth, and it will definitely help Google's stock price as well. Apart from that, Google has upgraded the user interface for its music streaming service YouTube Music. This upgrade is aimed at improving in-app experience for Android users as they're the biggest user base of the service, and this move will help the stock's financial performance as well. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the one-day chart for Google and things are not looking so good on 27th of September. We opened in a gap up from, let's say, over here at the price of $98.16 to a 1.3% gap up to $99.44. After that, we did touch the $100 level before going down. Now, I already told you guys in my previous analysis that as long as we stay above the $100 level, we should be good. But this probably was the day when the Fed announced the, interest rate hikes. And ever since then, we can see that, the stock hasn't been performing that well. We did go down below the $100 range, and now we're having trouble breaking it, and it will definitely act as a strong resistance. Now, I believe that we might be range bound over here between the 97.5 and the $100 level. I do believe that the Google stock is strong enough to break through this range, right? But I honestly can't predict how long this range will last. And as you guys already know, that Google is one of the biggest tech companies in the Nasdaq, and that makes it a potential target of Fed's interest rate hike problem. And if you know that the interest rates are hiked again, the stock will probably suffer even more, breaking the $97.5 support. But I do believe that investors at this point are probably accounting for that in their trades already. If we look at the entire market, we can see that other tech stocks like Meta and Microsoft are down as well. Apart from that, some EV stocks are down as well. Apple is up, AMD is up, Amazon is down as well. We can see some wavy movements over here in the past charts of the stock. If we look closely, we can see that, we got into a gap up over here, or a gap down over here, and then we went up. Then we got into a gap down, went down. Then we got into a gap down and went up. Now we got into a gap up and went down. So that's pretty much a stable trend of, getting a gap up and then getting a gap down, then getting a gap up, going down, gap down, go up. That's a pretty stable trend for the stock at the moment. But to analyze more of what's exactly going on in this range, let's quickly jump into the 1-hour chart. As you guys can see right here, first things first, over here on 21st September, we did get a lot of volume from the buyers over here on the 230 candle, and after that we can see that going into the 22nd of September, we opened in a gap down but went up, right? We took support around the $100 level, but obviously we broke below that on the next day on 23rd September. And then you guys can see that we made somewhat of a red engulfing candle, right? Not exactly a red engulfing candle. And over here, we've seen somewhat of a breakdown pattern. If we look closely at this, we can see that, this is pretty much the neckline, right? So this would indicate somewhat of a head and shoulder pattern on a short term. And that might indicate that we'll go up over here, test this range and go down after that. So my short-term price target for Google, according to the entire market even, would probably be between this range as well. So I would rather avoid trading the stock. However, if you are an investor and you've already bought the stock, it's not a bad hold, right? You should definitely hold the stock. But that is just my own opinion and not financial advice. But coming back to the charts, we can clearly see that, the $115, $110 range still continues to be the year-end target. And I honestly believe that it is very achievable since Google obviously is one of the biggest companies. And if the Pinterest acquisition actually happens, we might actually see the stock, shoot up to the $115 level. But now if we look closely at the current market scenario, we can see that on 27th, we opened in a gap up over here at the level of, what was this, $99.45 about. And after that, we hit the $100 resistance, which was obviously pretty strong, right? We went down, we closed over here, somewhere around here on the second candle, right? Or rather, we started over here at $98.7. We closed over here. So we made, again, I already told you that we made somewhat of a head and shoulder pattern. Now we're currently range bound in this range between $98 to $97. And I honestly believe that we might actually break this support. Because again, this level over here around $98 would act as a resistance on the upper top of this range, right? So to analyze that even further, let's quickly jump into the 5-minute chart. So as you guys can see right here on the 5-minute chart, this was the gap up, of course, and after that, this was the point where we hit the resistance. So let me mark that again for y'all. And after that, we got somewhat of an engulfing candle, which engulfed all of these past 3 candles. And ever since then, the bearish trend started, right? We did take support over here first around this range, right? We did take support over here as well and over here. So that is a proven support around $98.9 or just a round of $99 range. After that, we can see that we got resisted over here quite often at $99.3635. Right below that, we did take support over here around $98. We did get resisted over here around $98.35, and we were pretty much squeezing into this range. So as you guys can see, the bearish trend still continues on the short term. But if we look at the candlestick pattern, we can see that, the volumes are pretty much kind of fading away on the short term, like the really short term, the 5-minute, 10-minute term, in terms of, buying pressure or rather selling pressure. So we might see a candle bar pattern over here called the pin bar candle, and it might be on the upside and it might even turn green, but I hardly believe that will happen. So in my opinion, the stock remains somewhat of a short opportunity, but if you're holding it, definitely don't sell it, in my opinion. But if you're not holding any, and if you're willing to open up a trade, you might be interested in opening a short trade from over here if the stock breaks, the $97.5, $97 range. That might set it up for the $96 or rather the $95.5 range. After that, we might, get a rebound from these levels, and we might complete the head and shoulder pattern that we were forming on the long-term chart. So if you ask me what's going to happen today, I already told you that we will probably be bearish, but that won't happen just so easily, since you already know that the mid-market has started over here, right? It's noon pretty much. And after that, I believe that, we might get some volume over here and hit back to this $98 range. And then the next day, we might get a gap up and go down. But if we look at the past, history or rather track record of the stock, we can see that it's making first higher highs, or rather a gap up, and after that it's going down, and at the same time a gap down means that the stock would go up. So I believe that we might get a gap down next time, since we already got a gap up over here, and after that we might go down and up and try to break this $100 resistance, but that would probably take a few more days. Again, that is just my own analysis and definitely not financial advice, so you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for more such videos, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.